In today's video, we're talking about a very serious crime in Arizona. It's called sexual conduct with a minor. We're going to look at the statute. We'll see what elements are required for a person to be charged with sexual conduct with a minor. Then we'll look at how the sentencing and the penalties work. So first and foremost, the law is housed in Title 13, Chapter 14. It's a 13-1405. If you go to that statute, you'll see a big long sentence, but what we're doing is we're breaking it down so we can attack each element individually. First and foremost, in order to be charged with this, the conduct that's further alleged needs to be done intentionally or knowingly, meaning you can't do this accidentally. You have to know what you're doing. It has to be done intentionally. So either intentionally or knowingly, that's the mental state that a person has to be in order to be charged with sexual conduct with a minor. If that is met, if that is established, the next thing that is required is a person needs to engage in either sexual intercourse or sexual contact. Both of those terms are underlined because they're defined elsewhere. There's a definitions portion of the sexual offense, Chapter 14, and so what you're going to want to do is go there and look these up. What does sexual intercourse mean? What does sexual contact mean? I have a different video about that if you want to dive into it further, but both those are very important. If something is not considered sexual contact, it's not going to meet this element, so that might be a good defense. And finally, all of this needs to happen with a person who is under the age of 18. That is the age of being a minor. Anybody who's 18 and above is not a minor anymore. So it needs to be under 18. Doesn't matter if their birthday was in 2 months, doesn't matter if they're 17 years old and 11 months. If they're under 18, it's sexual conduct with a minor. That portion of the element is met. So if all of these are met and a person is charged with this crime, what are the penalties? There's a big range between them. So as a recap, in Arizona, we have 6 different classifications of felony offenses. Class 1 is at the top. It's the most serious. It's for crimes like murder. Class 6 is at the bottom. It's the least serious. So it's at the very bottom. It's for felonies, which are all very serious, but it's the least serious of them all. If a person is charged with sexual conduct with a minor, and the person they're alleged to have had that conduct with is under the age of 15, that becomes a Class 2 felony. So you can see it's at the very, very top. It's one level below all the homicide cases. So it's very, very serious. If the person is over the age of 15, it becomes a Class 6. So it drops it all the way down to the least serious felony that we have, which is a big difference, as you can see here. So you can see there's a difference between somebody who's 14 years old and 11 months and somebody who's 15 is a difference between a Class 6 and a Class 2. It's 4 different levels of felonies. So it's very, very serious, and this is a very important part of the case because not only are you wanting to combat these elements, you also want to make sure you understand how the sentencing will work. Now, if a person is over the age of 15 or 15 and up, and the person who's being charged with this crime is in what's called a position of trust, it's going to elevate it from that Class 6 all the way back up to a Class 2 again. In another video, in the definitions portion of the videos that I've made, position of trust is defined. Specifically, it is for people who are teachers, parents, adoptive parents, foster parents. It's for coaches, instructors, it's for clergy. It's really for anybody who is going to be within a circle of trust. If they're in that circle of trust and they engage in sexual conduct with a minor, the law really wants to penalize them. It's going to turn it from a Class 6 into a Class 2. It's going to really, really harshly and severely penalize them because they're considered to be violating that trust. It also must be served, meaning there will be time served in jail depending upon your record, or prison in this case. So you want to be certain that you understand how this all works if you're being charged with sexual conduct with a minor. You can see here I drew an arrow. So if the person is under the age of 15, and there's sexual conduct with a minor involved, it can be charged and likely will be charged under 13-705. It's called Dcac, which stands for Dangerous Crimes Against Children. These are very harsh sentencing provisions that are applied when there's a crime against somebody who's under a certain age. So when crimes are penalized according to Dcac, you can expect very, very severe plea deals, very harsh terms, very long prison sentences. So in other words, if you or somebody that you know or loved has been charged with sexual conduct with a minor, it's extremely important that this gets addressed appropriately. Our office, we do criminal defense law. We have a great team of people here. We've helped a lot of people through these types of cases. Remember, there's a lot of stigma around these crimes, but under our law, under our Constitution, you are innocent until proven guilty. So unless you've pled guilty or unless you're convicted by a jury, you have a right to your innocence, you have a right to have a trial, you have a right to due process, and you have a right to competent legal representation. It's what we do here. We're very good at what we do. We've helped many people with cases like this and more serious, so give us a call. We offer free case evaluations. We'll have you come into our office. We'll sit down. We'll make sure you understand how this all works. And more importantly, make sure you have a plan to move forward. Give us a call. We look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks for watching.